This feels overwhelming, and honestly, I get why. Claims, labels, facility registration, product listing, serious adverse event records, supplier information, batch details, ingredient traceability from vendor to the jar or bottle. And it starts to sound like an insurance commercial with a clipboard. And let's make it a little less dramatic and boring. But you don't need to understand every single part of cosmetic compliance in one sitting. You need to stop letting it float around all in your head like a giant cloud of panic, or in, drawers or clip files. What am I even trying to say? Drawers, files, in drawers, a filing cabinet, sticky notes. I don't know. I was trying to I had a picture of a cluttered thing in my mind. I don't know. No, Lord, I'm all off script now. Here we go. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So it doesn't have to be scattered and panic. I'm gonna just break it down really basically first. 5 basics. First, what are you saying? Your claims matter. Your captions, your product pages, your labels, your listing descriptions, and more all help communicate what your product is intended to do. So the first question is simple. Are you describing a cosmetic, or are you drifting into a claim that sounds like you're treating, preventing, or fixing a medical condition? That line matters. Second, what are you selling? What is the product? It sounds simple, but what category does it sit in? What ingredients are in it? Is it a rinse off? Is it a leave on? A soap? A cosmetic? Something else? Something in between? You cannot organize the business if you're fuzzy on what the product actually is. Third, what did you make? This is where the batch records come in. And more than just templates, the system supports them. Not because paperwork is glamorous. It is not. But future you needs to know what happened 3 months ago. What formula did you use? What batch size? What supplier lots? What date? What changed? A good batch test can still lie to you if you do not have enough structure to compare it against the next one or to the previous one. Fourth, where did your materials come from? This is the part people sometimes want to call chain of custody. I know that's police. I grew up watching Law and Order. That is not usually the cleanest term, but you get the point. The traceability, you need traceability. That's what I was grasping for. Supplier records, ingredient names, lot numbers when available, dates received, what ingredient went, what batch it went into. What? Yeah, not fancy, just real. Fifth, what happens if there's a problem? You need a way to document complaints and adverse events. Serious adverse events have specific reporting requirements, but even smaller complaints should not just live in your DMs and in your memories, because growth will find the gap. And this is the point. Compliance doesn't have to be panic. It doesn't have to be a law degree. It just has to be structured. So if you are brand new and you're trying to understand what matters before your first sale, then start with before you sell your first jar. If you are already selling and need tools, records, and a system behind the brand, that is what SMCCS was built for. Build the structure behind the brand.